Hi Wave fam, Jamie here, and I'm super pumped to have Faisal here. He is a body alignment optimization, posture specialist, yoga instructor, and body worker, all mixed in one. And he's here today to help us talk about having better posture. So, can you start us out with, I came to Faisal because of my injury, which most of you know, and I have bulging discs, my cervical spine's a little out of whack, and right away, within a moment of working with Faisal, he saw some things in my hips and things were out of alignment. So can you just kind of tell us all, what are the top things you see on a day-to-day basis that you notice with postures immediately?
Sure. Great question. And I want to, before I even start with that, I want to say that it's important in my approach that the entire body is looked at when trying to find out what's causing someone's pain, right? It's not just the area of pain that we focus on. So the top things I see in today's line of work or in today's clients that come in, almost always rounded shoulders, like kind of like this, yeah. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm gonna let you know because I even have to constantly correct this with exercises because I'm here on the computer.
Right.
So this starts to happen, right? The chest gets tight. These muscles are just not active at all. So then this starts to happen, this rounding sensation. We literally start to shrink. It becomes hard to take a deep breath. That's one of the things. Another thing is low back issues. Lots and lots of low back issues. I'd say those two. And then the final one is people's feet. Jacked up feet where they're either on the outsides of their feet or their kneecaps are kind of in and they're collapsed on their arches, or their big toe isn't working, so they're kind of like this on their feet. I think you can see my feet there. So those are like the three things, and I would say each one of these is connected to the next. The shoulder position is connected to the hip position is connected to the knee position is connected to the foot position.
It's like the song.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Hip bones connected.
Someone knew something back then, didn't they?
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that and right now, as we're sitting here and talking about this, of course, I'm really aware in this moment of my posture, which I'm certain that you see when you have clients come in and you're like, do your regular stride or walk. And
I love that you said that because it literally just comes down to awareness.
Yeah.
I feel like if we knew where our body is in time and space, we probably wouldn't be holding it in that position. So I see a lot of, just to touch up on the awareness piece, is this, right? What do you think doing this for 30 years is gonna look like after some time? Or this, like look at my feet, people standing like that. Or this, they come into me and say, hey Faisal, I got neck pain and I don't know why. But it's like, well, how can we enhance people's awareness, because that's really the key to everything, to posture, to better health, to changing the planet, to
everything.
If you're aware, would you be doing the things that you're unconsciously doing?
No, I mean, no or yes, right? Depending on what it is. And I love that he brought that up because and I don't know if you know this, but the WAVE system, that, the self-care system, it's all about what well-being is, and then bringing awareness to wherever you need it, right? And then creating the vision to where you're going to take action, and then putting your energy forth in that way and writing out the wave for the highs, the lows, all of it. So thank you for bringing that up because
I subscribe to each and every single one of those things. I just did a podcast yesterday and I just touched up on like those things without even really, knowing them in detail. So
I love it. Yeah. And so now, and here it is, because the reality is, even though I've worked in the fitness industry and yoga for many, many years, there's so much that I still don't know, even in my own body. So even for someone like me who feels really self-aware and all that, getting an injury by, falling and having this compound injury of something over time, bad posture, other things, brought me to you. And so I'm just so excited to have you here with everyone and to offer some of the, like a few of the top posture tips that you could share. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you bringing this to a lot of people. I think this is something we all need. Lucky to have her, really, for everything she brings forward. So thanks. So why don't we start with the shoulder thing, right? The shoulder thing. So here's probably my number one thing for correcting this roundness in the shoulders. So I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible, right? Often you get neck pain, or we get neck pain, or someone gets neck pain, and usually the head is in this position, right? Like super far forward or leaning one side or the other. Now, if we can get the shoulders or the chest up, do you notice how the neck kind of rests in the proper position, right? So when you're here, the neck is really stressed out.
Right.
And then when you're here, the neck is resting, the ears are resting between the shoulders, and it's in this restful kind of place. So I'm going to show you what to do with your shoulders to kind of reinforce this position, right? And then it should alleviate some of your neck pain, some of your neck tightness, and then help the shoulders be in their proper functional place. So here's what you would do. You would get down on your knees, essentially.
I'm gonna do it with him.
Yeah, you can tuck your toes under, and we're kind of going to have to stagger a little bit. You're going to pull your fingers in so the fingers are touching the, what's that, finger pads, I guess, and the thumbs are out. So like it's called a golfer's grip. And then you're going to take your arms wide, fingers pointing forward. Good. And now you're just simply going to do like arm circles going forward. Like, yeah, there you go. Perfect. So as you're doing this, Jay, you're going to notice the chest is kind of stretching a little bit, and this is kind of working. It's really important while you're doing this that the shoulders are relaxed and you're engaging these back muscles right here. Perfect. All right, so you're going to do about 20, 30, 40 of these, whatever you can going forward, keeping this tight, the arms straight. And then after that, so about 20, 30, 40, depending on what you could do. I usually do this while I'm walking around the block too with the dog. You're going to reverse. So you're going to go this way and then reverse that position. So most people, when I have them do this, is like, they're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. It's like, this is intense.
Yeah.
How do you feel being here?
I mean, you could absolutely certainly feel the muscles working.
What do you feel working?
I feel my back muscles. I feel my chest opening.
Good.
Yeah.
So by strengthening, you're good right there. You can relax if you like. By strengthening, you want to keep going, go ahead. By strengthening these muscles in her back, right, the ones behind her chest, these muscles get stretched, right? And these muscles get to relax a little bit. So they stop pulling her spine in this rounded-like position. And then the back, gets to support her chest being upright. So if you're a yogi or a person that wants to walk around with an open heart, remember, you have to have the musculature to do that. It's hard to walk around open to the world when this part of your body isn't really developed to support you. So that's the first thing. That's one of the most key things. And you're probably going to have that on your exercise menu.
Yes, we are. Get ready for it.
Yeah. So that's number one. Number two, I love, depending on where you're tight, okay? So if your hips are in this position or if your hips are on this position, you can kind of tell, right? One's called an anterior tilt, one's called a posterior tilt. One of these two things is going to be amazing for you, right? So most of us tend to be tight generally right here from all the sitting we're doing. So pretty simple. You grab someone's shoulder or a wall, or if you got great balance, you just grab that left ankle or right ankle and pull that leg back. And try to keep the knee pointing at the floor or the wall behind you. Lift the chest up, try to be symmetrical and stretch out those quads. All right? Simple, right? Simple, but you'd be surprised how tight we get here from all the sitting we do. If this isn't enough for you, you could take kind of like a low lunge approach and do it from this position. So only you know if what's tighter is the front or the back part of your body. So I always like to do a little bit of this because I'm pretty neutral now, and then forward fold. I love forward folding, but here's the key. Let's turn this way so the camera can see you. Fold forward, Jay, if you don't mind.
Yep.
So here's what I want you to pay attention to. Go all the way if you'd like. Now, notice where her hips are, her knees are, and her ankles are. In a perfect world, here's what you would do. If it's hard to be in this position, you're just going to put your hands on a block. I don't know if it's hard or easy for her, but I'm just kind of taking care of her. I want you from this position to make sure the feet are underneath the knees and the knees are underneath the hips. All right, that's the first thing. The next thing, you're going to turn on the quadriceps and you're going to try to roll the hips out as you fold forward. Finally, you're going to make sure that the feet are evenly placed on the ground. If anything, you're leaning slightly forward, if anything. You can relax the head here and just let that lengthen. So this gets into the hamstrings, the back part of the body, maybe the low back. If this is too intense for you, you're just gonna bend the knees a little bit or prop yourself up on more blocks, but keep the legs straight. Right. That's number 2.
So good.
Number 2.
And so simple.
And I'd say about 2 more things here. The first thing is gonna be some kind of twist. So option 1 would be on your back. You want to demo? You could demo.
I'll be the model.
All right.
Yay.
So lay on your left side so that you're facing the camera.
Okay.
All right. Bend your knees and pull them towards your chest. There you go. And then just lay down completely. And then straighten both arms out in front of you and do this. Okay. Your bottom hand is going to go on this leg. Yeah, your top hand is going to go behind you. Perfect. And that's it.
I got a nice crack there.
That's it. And you're just going to twist here. You're going to hold this for 1 minute on one side, and then you're going to do 1 minute on the opposite side. Okay, so what we're doing here is all the paraspinals are being stretched, maybe a little bit of the low back, the outer hip, the pec is being stretched. I mean, if you start turning your neck like you should, you're going to feel a neck getting stretched. It's really like, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
This is one of my favorites, yeah.
One of my favorites too.
Yeah.
So that's 3 so far. And without overwhelming you, the last one is gonna be, you can think of it as informational, okay? So here's what I'm gonna say. Try your best, even though I may have done it a few times in this video, I may have done this or I may have done that a few times, to just stand with your feet underneath your body, where you're not leaning forward on the toes. You're not having all your weight in the heels. Your feet are both planted down evenly with even weight distribution from the front to the back. And I really take some time to do this when I'm in the shower. For some reason, when I'm showering, I start doing all kinds of funky stuff with my legs and my head. I don't know why, but that's my time to like work on my...
To really think about it.
Yeah.
And focus on it. Okay, I love that. And now one other question I wanted to ask you, because I specifically had some issues here, cervical spine, and, trying to get, my neck in placement. Do you have any good suggestion for, is it like, I know you said opening the chest, which I definitely feel that, but is there like any benefit to pushing back?
Yeah.
Or?
So, if you've ever had neck issues and you've been to a physical therapist, they'll usually give you these exercises where you're kind of sliding your chin back and you're lengthening the back of your neck and then releasing, right? So it's a great exercise. There's nothing wrong with it. I would say pay attention to where your chest is in relationship to your neck, because that's what dictates where your neck is. Right. So if I was you, Jamie, I would focus more on this position with my chest, and automatically my neck is in the right place. And then we could do the exact opposite. We can kind of like relax the chest and see how the neck kind of slumps forward and the shoulders slump forward.
Totally.
So if this is like elusive to you or it sounds really challenging, just remember when you strengthen the body, you no longer have to fight being in the right position. It's automatically there. And that's what I'm here to help you do if you want to get there, right? But some of these tips are going to help you too. Yep. So essentially a strong back body is going to allow you to be in this position and should alleviate some of the neck stuff going on, in my opinion, right? And last thing, and most important thing for your posture in my mind, exhale. Let's do this together. Okay. Let's face one another. Face one another. Okay. So I want you to just exhale. And as you exhale, just relax. Okay. Did you see what's happening here? How everything's kind of coming in? All right. Now I want you to take the deepest inhale you've taken all day and then hold it. Okay. Did you see how now automatically we're upright? Fucking breathe. Fucking breathe, man.
That is
like breathe.
Just fucking breathe.
You would be surprised. Yeah. There's a person I really care about deeply who, I'm not going to say their name. They know who they are. Who's a part of my life. And I'm around this person, and then literally this is what I hear. Ready?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? They don't breathe. So this is why meditation is so important. Even if you just breathe for 5-10 minutes and train yourself to take a deep breath, it's worth it, because just an inhale uprights your body and puts it in the right position.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you all know that have been working with me. We talk about breath quite often. We have short meditations for people that think maybe, oh, I can't meditate, and just really bringing the awareness to our breath. Because so often we're only breathing like that very shallow breath, and it's really not allowing ourselves to open and get into that full range of motion, I feel like.
Yeah.
So one last thing I wanted to ask you about before we go, because I love that you mentioned it.
Great
Mariana
questions,
brought
by
it
the
up.
way.
Thank you. Thank you for
Mariana,
everything.
thank you for running the show here behind the scenes.
I love it. So you had said, because I think about sometimes with posture when I talk with clients of like a little bit of the kind of opening and maybe a little external rotation up here just to really feel that difference. Do you notice that a lot of people have their hands, like where do you see an issue with this? Because I know we were talking about it.
Yeah, great question. So the hand position, right, just tells me what's happening with the shoulder.
So what do you see often? Like what's this? Like if someone's watching right now, and I bet they're probably like totally changing their posture.
Gangster hands
Gangster
right
hands.
here.
Okay.
Like that, this is what I see.
Okay.
And this is because of the position of the shoulder and what we just talked about before.
So by just even doing that little opening and that deep breath, you really bring it back. I love it. Okay.
We talked a little bit about low back pain, but we didn't get too much into it. So if you don't mind, I kind of give them a little bit of a nugget here.
Another cookie.
So low back pain can happen for so many reasons, right? And it's impossible for me to tell you what I think is happening if I don't see it, right? But I can tell you, usually there's some kind of rotation or deviation or elevation or something happening with the hips where they're not in the same position, right? Whether it's the quads are too weak or too strong or the glutes aren't strong enough, who knows? But this is one of the things I find that works best for low back stuff. So Pete Egoscu, thank you for your words of wisdom and all the training when it comes to this posture stuff. And this is his techniques, just like the other stuff I showed is some of his stuff too. You're gonna lay on your back with your knees right underneath. Oh, sorry. Underneath. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And put your legs up there. But scoot forward a little bit.
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to tell you, I kind of like that you're doing this because I could kind of like speak to what's happening
To what you see. Yeah, I love it.
So what's happening in this position is the knees are right above the hips. And let's kind of go through what you may be experiencing by talking to Jamie. Jamie, pay attention right now to your low back. Does the left side of your low back feel the same as the right side? Is the same?
Not really.
Can you say more about that?
Yeah, so it feels like the left side maybe is drooping a little.
Okay. All right.
A little bit lower?
Perfect. So that basically says to me that the left side is kind of going down, the right side is kind of going up a little bit. All right. So what this position does is allows the low back to rest in this, think about neutral position. So if she stays here long enough, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, the right hip should come down a little bit. Right? To meet the left. And when that happens, that rotation that's happening should kind of level off a little bit. And it should, when she gets up after being here a while in this position, feel a lot better. And she's already got the hand position down, the shoulders are relaxed, and I guess you could watch TV in this position.
There's like a
you
Netflix
can read.
and chill. Sometimes I give them workouts where I'm like, you can do these glute exercises while you're watching your Netflix.
Yeah.
Just move.
This is exactly it.
This is like really chill.
It's really chill. And some of us, I want everything to be relaxed here. So if your legs have the tendency to kind of just splay out wide, you're just going to probably loop a strap between the legs, just hip distance apart. And remember, we want everything symmetrical or at a 90-degree shape. So ankle, knee, and hip is at a 90-degree shape, right? We don't want the knees out wide and the hips here. We want everything as lined up as possible. So after being here a bit, my guess is she'll start to notice that the right side of her back and the left side have less of a discrepancy.
I already noticed it.
You already noticed it?
Yeah.
Okay. So simple. And I just had to do something for the low back people because, I was in so much pain at one point in my life from low back stuff. I couldn't get out of bed without crying. If you have low back stuff, please, you don't have to be in pain. I promise you. I hope this helps a little bit, but feel free to
Can they reach out to you?
100%.
Are you taking new clients?
Even if we don't work together, I'll do my best to direct you in the right place and tell you a few things that may work. Yeah, because you don't have to be in pain, but fucking do something about it. Don't just be complaining about your pain. Do something about it.
We got to take that. Remember, awareness, accountability, take action. The responsibility. I'm loving this. I'm loving this position right here.
Yeah.
Okay,
good.
I'll get up now, but I totally feel the difference from being there and just holding it. And it's interesting because my left side is the side that's been a little funky. So, yes. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Faisal, thank you so much for what you bring to the table.
I hope this helps.
I'm sure that this is going to immensely help. And for everyone that's watching, be sure to follow him. I'll post all of his links to where you can find him.
Sweet. Thanks.
And yeah, follow him on social media and other places. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.